In this movie, we begin to look at our basic operations of adding color, style, and weight to our text. In this specific movie, we will be discussing color. Now, it is through the use of color that we can establish the general overall tone of an entire website. As we have already seen, we can apply our color property and our background color to our various HTML objects. So color is what controls the color of content inside of our targeted tags, and it is the background color that controls the background area that contains that content. So if we see a rule that says P color maroon, background dash color, triple E, we are going to have all of our paragraphs with this light gray background to it and the text showing up in a maroon color. Now, we've already spent a good bit of time seeing our color and our background color being applied, so let's go ahead and jump over to our project and set up our color. So right now, our OpenSparks project is just kind of this blank default black on white with blue links. We're going to change that up a bit. Going over to our main.css, we're going to add in a number of different styles here. First of all, we are going to modify our body rule. So I'm going to set that up, color black, and our background color is going to be white. Now, of course, that's exactly what is set up right now, so you may be asking, why did I do that? Well, it's to take control of it, because as it stands right now, it's up to the browser, and so it may differ from browser to browser what's actually being used, or our end user might have set up a user style that would set that up and override and kind of hurt the rest of our design. So I'm just taking explicit control. It's also recommended that if you are going to use the color property, you also go ahead and set up a background color for that as well. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some control here for our links. I'm going to do the A link and then the A visited and set those up so they are a kind of reddish orange color. I'll go ahead and save that and just jump over into my browser and refresh. And now we see that kind of reddish orange color being applied to all of our links. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to affect some very specific regions in our document, because there's kind of these logical structures or logical divisions that we want to put into here. So starting with our OpenSparks and going down past our table of contents, we have an area that we're going to designate as being the header of our document. And then we're going to set up an area called News, containing our news, and then an area called Tutorials, which will contain all the tutorials, and then down at the bottom we have our footer. So to do this, we actually need to go back to our HTML document and add in the appropriate tags. So the first tag I need is to designate my header. So I'm going to add in a div tag and do an ID header. And then I'll go ahead and move on down a bit. It's right after that unordered list, I'm going to add in the div that closes the header. Now I also want to go ahead and add in another div up here for the site mission. This is just basically a piece of text that's stating what the mission of the website is and what our overall purpose is. And I'll close that div down. And then right after that, I'll set up another div with an ID of navigation. And we're going to end up turning this into our navigation bar for our website. Go down to the bottom there. And I'll close the div. So I'll go ahead and save that. And I'll jump back into the CSS. And I'm going to add in our rules here. So first of all, I want to affect the header. In that header, I'm going to set the background color to be this kind of blue-gray color that we have pulled from a graphic that we will be using in our design. And I'll go ahead and set up the H2 in the header to be colored white. Then I'll set up the site mission color to be white as well. And then lastly, I'll set up the color for my navigation links to be black because I want them to be a little bit different than the other links in the body. So if I save that and jump over and refresh here and then scroll back up, I should now see that we have this blue-gray color for our background. The links have now changed to be black, and the H2 tags, which include the Kindling for Open Source Creativity and Table of Contents, are now white. Our site mission is also white. However, our Open Sparks, which is the H1, remains black. Now, of course, we're going to do a whole lot more as we move throughout this course, adding in things like images where we currently just have text. But for now, that concludes this first part of adding in color to our project.